for scholarships. I think the only thing that I was confused about was the FAFSA part.
I'll try to kind of almost go step by step. Okay, so let's do this. So the boom.fas.gov.edu. See, I be on here so much. FAFSA.ed.gov. Okay, so it's actually studentaid.gov. Okay, so let's go here. Okay. And unfortunately, or fortunately, since we just have a limited amount of time today, we can't go through the entire FAFSA process. But essentially what you're going to do is you're going to start out with you and or your parents' tax returns, right? Because that's kind of what they use to determine how much money you get, right? And so there's all different types of FAFSA, and there's 1,000 different ways to slice it, right? And that's why having that vision is important, because you also want to just know what your end goal is. Okay, so you're going to get your tax returns, your parents' tax returns. You're going to come here, you're going to click start here. What's going to happen is they actually have a way of being able to pull your tax returns from the IRS, right? Basically, you're going to come here, you can have your parent do it, you can have a student do it, or there's actually people who actually walk through it and do it with you. Oftentimes, they will help you with this at your school. So usually if you talk to your high school counselor, they will have like a FAFSA day or something like that.
I completed my FAFSA.
Okay, cool. That's good.
The part that's confusing me is when I started my applying for a scholarship, and then it started to ask me questions about my FAFSA.
Okay.
And that's the part I was confused about.
So generally, there's only about 3 or 4 questions that they can really ask you. Part of it is some legal issues, but is usually the one thing they want to ask you is your EFC, your expected family contribution. And so once your FAFSA is filled out, they usually give you a little number that says EFC. And then that EFC is how much money the government anticipates for you to get from your family, right? It doesn't mean that your family has to come up with that amount of money, because it only means that is how much, like there's a certain stopping point of what they're going to give you. So usually they'll just ask you about your EFC. If you're filling out for outside scholarships, right? If they're asking you for all this other stuff, then it depends. It depends on who you're filling out for scholarships with. I would be cautious about how much information they ask you for, because there's a lot of scammers out here.